Hey, so Hank, this is crazy, but you have been now doing 32 years of The Simpsons. You were a young man when The Simpsons began. What was it? Did you have any sense of what it would be? I mean, certainly no one would have a sense of how long it would have gone on, but what was it like at the beginning when you went in to record voices?
You're talking 33, 34 years ago. Phew, I was 22 or 23 years old. It was an audition like any other. I kind of strolled in. Matt Groening and the late great Sam Simon were sitting there. Jim Brooks wasn't there, but the other two co-creators. And I didn't know. No one knew what the show was. It was a year or two before it got released. And the first voice audition was Moe, and I was doing a sort of Pacino impression, a young kind of Dog Day Afternoon Al Pacino impression. I thought might be good for it. And they were like, "Can you make that gravelly?" And so I kind of made it gravelly, and that sounded like Moe. And they said, "Cool, will you come record?" I'm like, "Now? Like right now?" They were like, "Yeah, just," and I walked over with them on the Fox lot. Like I'm 22. I don't know what's going on in general anywhere, let alone in this circumstance. I recorded
It's crazy.
Yeah, and then every week they had me back, and then the show didn't air for like another year or two after that.
This might be an ignorant question, but did they? Do you always see the art of the character before you come up with a voice?
Never.
Wow.
Sometimes in certain animation projects, they'll kind of show you what they're thinking, but in this case, I know. I had no idea what anything looked like. I just did voices, and they were very meticulous, which I realized. Look, I didn't know then because I had nothing to compare it to. But they were very painstaking about takes and trying it this way, trying it that way. And so it was a lot. In the first year or two of the show, we were there a long time recording. Now it's kind of like clockwork, as you might imagine.
Sure, yeah. Did you, so your son's 11, growing up when you were, reading books to him and being a father in general, was he impressed with your ability to come up with voices and be a mimic?
No, he was, if anything, frightened and annoyed. Like, why are strange noises coming out of daddy? It doesn't make any sense. And when we were pregnant, we ran into Robin Williams, who I knew and worked with a few times. And of course, Robin did 20-minute shtick on my wife's pregnant belly. And in between crazy jokes, said, "You'll see," because he knew I was a voice guy. He said, "You'll see, your kid won't let you do voices for like the first 6 years he's alive." And he was completely correct about that. And then over the years, he has eased his policy, but then it had to be like certain voices would scare him, and still do. Like I can do a pretty good villain, I can start with this stuff, and it's like, "No, Daddy, no."
My son will be saved from that by my terrible voice work. Hey, last thing, I want to shout you out, the Brockmire jacket. Which is a worthy inclusion, is currently in the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It is next to the Simpsons display for the Homer at the Bat episode. Is the Brockmire jacket and old timey microphone. I think the folks over there are big Brockmire fans. I'm very bad at selling my own projects, but I love this show so much. Brockmire, I love the Simpsons too, but. I take the Brockmire challenge, Seth Meyers' audience. Watch it's all on Hulu, all 4 seasons. You can binge it now. It's 8 episodes per season, 22 minutes. So that's one quarantine afternoon. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Watch the first 5 minutes of season 1. Of episode 1, season 1. If you don't laugh, you have my permission to stop watching. But,
and I also want to stress, because I think my new favorite thing is if you can have a 22-minute show that also has some drama in it, that's the gold mine for me. And Brockmire has a lot of that. So I highly recommend it as well. Hank, it's always a pleasure to see you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Chef Myers. Keep up the wonderful work.